The anticipation surrounding South Florida is reaching a fever pitch as training camp approaches in less than 3 weeks, bringing a profound sense of optimism that is sweeping through the entire fan base. This is not just ordinary off-season chatter. We are witnessing the dawn of a transformative era for our beloved team. The organization recently made the bold, calculated decision to reset the foundation, parting ways with massive household names, veteran pillars, and established superstars to build something sustainable, dynamic, and genuinely competitive for the long haul. When a franchise undergoes a shift of this magnitude, the pressure to hit a home run in the draft is immense, and early indications suggest the front office did exactly that. All eyes are now firmly locked on our two prized first-round rookies, cornerback Chris Johnson and offensive lineman Caden Proctor, who have spent the last few months quietly turning heads, capturing the imagination of the coaching staff, and earning glowing praise from league analysts. Before we unpack the incredible potential of these young stars and dive into how they are expected to reshape the identity of this team on both sides of the ball, take a quick moment to show your support by liking this video, sharing it with your fellow fans, and subscribing to the channel so you can stay connected with daily updates throughout the entire season. To truly appreciate the excitement surrounding Chris Johnson, you have to look at the landscape of the modern game. When you undergo a total roster overhaul, navigating a transition without your familiar stars, you must aggressively target premium positions in the draft. Aside from finding a franchise quarterback, there is arguably no position on the gridiron more valuable or impactful than a lockdown, elite boundary cornerback. While a ferocious pass rush is vital and explosive wide receivers grab all the headlines, we live in an era dictated by high-flying, pass-happy offenses that want to stretch the field and throw the football 40 times a game. To survive, let alone thrive, you absolutely must possess a definitive answer in the secondary. A player who can line up against the opposition's most dangerous weapon, mirror their movements perfectly, and take away an entire side of the field. Chris Johnson does not just project as a piece of that puzzle. He enters his rookie campaign as an immediate starter destined to be the anchor of this defensive backfield. What makes Johnson an exceptionally rare and thrilling prospect is his astonishing tactical versatility. The defensive coaching staff has no intention of locking him into a rigid, one-dimensional role on the outside. Instead, defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley plans to utilize him as a dynamic chess piece, seamlessly shifting him across the formation depending on the matchup. On one possession, you will see him using his length and speed on the boundary to erase vertical deep threats. On the next, he will slide inside to the nickel spot to shut down quick, agile slot receivers. This adaptability is exactly what the defense desperately needs after experiencing significant turnover in the secondary during the spring. Watching prominent starting cornerbacks depart in free agency to sign with distant clubs certainly left a void, but it cleared a direct path for a young prodigy to step up and claim the spotlight. Do you think a single rookie is truly capable of elevating an entire secondary on his own right away? The whispers coming out of voluntary workouts, mandatory minicamp, and OTAs indicate that Johnson is more than ready for the challenge. Seasoned beat writers and team insiders have gone as far as to state that Johnson has been the single most impressive rookie on the entire roster this summer. It is one thing to possess rare, unteachable physical gifts, but what truly separates Johnson from his peers is his elite mental makeup. When he steps up to the microphone to speak with the media, you quickly realize you are not listening to an ordinary 21-year-old rookie. He radiates a cerebral, high IQ understanding of the game, demonstrating a profound grasp of the massive responsibilities being placed on his shoulders. The coaching staff openly confessed that they initially harbored reservations about overloading their young defender too early in the process, fearing that learning multiple positions at once might stall his development. However, Johnson completely shattered those concerns, absorbing the complex defensive playbook with total ease. When a coaching staff feels entirely comfortable giving a rookie this much schematic freedom before the pads even come on in late July, it speaks volumes about his exceptional football acumen and maturity. This fascinating development leads us directly to a major question that is currently captivating the entire community, and I want to hear exactly where you stand on the matter. Question of the day, as we look ahead to this highly anticipated season, which of our two premier first-round rookies will put together the more dominant and impactful rookie campaign? Will it be the versatile defensive chess piece Chris Johnson, or will it be our powerhouse blocker Caden Proctor? Take a second to pause, scroll down, and leave your predictions and thoughts in the comment section below. because the debate between protecting the quarterback and locking down opposing wide receivers is as real as it gets. While Johnson aims to quiet opposing passing attacks, Caden Proctor is entering training camp with the monumental task of solidifying the offensive trenches. Heading into the month of August, the coaching staff has made his immediate role crystal clear. He is penciled in as the team's undisputed starting left guard. However, because of his unique athletic profile, fans should not expect him to remain stationary forever. The organization has been actively cross-training Proctor at both tackle and guard throughout the spring, preparing him for any scenario. Proctor has spent his entire football life operating exclusively as a left tackle, dominating the high school ranks and matching up against elite talent at the absolute highest level of collegiate football. He entered the professional ranks as an incredibly decorated, five-star prospect with rare blocking traits. Transitioning a natural, lifelong left tackle into an interior guard is a sophisticated strategic move that gives this offensive line immense structural flexibility. If the injury bug unfortunately strikes the tackle position during the grueling regular season, the coaching staff can effortlessly slide Proctor back out to the edge while plugging in a capable reserve on the inside. Proctor has embraced this multi-positional challenge with open arms, telling reporters that he is simply taking things day by day and doing whatever is required to help the team win. Of course, a prospect of Proctor's stature always comes with a fair share of outside scrutiny. When his name was called on draft night, a few skeptical media analysts raised questions regarding his conditioning and mental consistency, frequently pointing back to minor weight struggles during his early collegiate days. The critics warned that if his physical fitness wavered in the pros, his development could stall out completely. But looking at the broader context reveals a much more reassuring reality. Those minor struggles occurred during his freshman year as an 18-year-old kid adapting to the overwhelming pressure of a powerhouse college program. His coaches praised his resilience and work ethic from that point forward, and there is simply no way that general manager John Eric Sullivan and head coach Jeff Hafley would invest their very first draft pick of this crucial franchise rebuild on a player whose dedication was in doubt. They evaluated the human being just as thoroughly as they evaluated the tape, and they knew without a shadow of a doubt that Proctor possessed the hunger to become great. With Proctor reinforcing the left guard position alongside an all-pro talent at center, this offensive line suddenly possesses a formidable interior core. When you pair that inside strength with the steady ascension of young tackles who are making massive strides in their development, we finally have reasons to feel incredibly optimistic about our ability to protect the pocket and establish a dominant, physical running game. The wealth of young talent does not end with our first-round investments, as there is another fascinating rookie flying completely under the national radar who deserves your full attention right now. Our sixth-round draft pick out of Texas, DJ Campbell. Securing a 3-year starter from a premier, elite college program like Texas in the 6th round represents an absolute masterclass in draft value. Throughout the spring, the coaching staff has been quietly experimenting with Campbell, handing him valuable reps at both center and guard to maximize his versatility. Because of this, he is rapidly positioning himself to be one of the most important and reliable interior depth pieces on the entire roster heading into the season. If you analyze the long-term architectural design of this offensive line, it is very easy to envision a scenario where Campbell develops into a permanent, high-level starter for this franchise in the near future. If the current starters encounter unexpected setbacks, or if future roster movements force existing players to transition to tackle next offseason, an immediate opening will emerge on the interior. Campbell possesses the prototypical size, the natural explosive power, and the smooth athleticism that this front office specifically prioritizes when building their front five. The standard scouting report on Campbell coming out of college was that his performance could occasionally be a bit uneven, looking like a dominant, unblockable force one week and searching for consistency the next. However, when you study his game film, his ceiling is undeniably immense, and his best blocks are absolutely breathtaking. While he will begin his journey providing critical depth, he is precisely the type of high-upside young prospect who could shock everyone once the pads come on and true evaluation begins. The long, quiet months of the football calendar are officially behind us, and the agonizing wait for real action is finally drawing to a close. The rookies are scheduled to report to training camp in just 12 days on July 21st, with the veteran leadership arriving shortly after on July 28th. Before you know it, the team will be sprinting onto the field for the first preseason game of the year, and the energy surrounding this franchise is going to be absolutely electric. The time for theories, projections, and off-season speculation is over, and authentic football is finally returning to our lives. Make sure you are subscribed and ready to go, because our coverage is about to shift into an entirely new gear the exact moment camp officially begins. Get ready for an unforgettable journey this season, and as always, go Fins!